Hello, artists. Welcome to my windowless bathroom. I have my shadow puppet here that I'm going to show you how we make today, and I have a flashlight. So for this project, you're going to need some thick paper, like some cardboard, as you can see. If you can see, my fish was made out of a thin cardboard, or an index card, or any kind of thick paper, scissors, and a pencil. Come on, let's get started. So today we are going to be creating an underwater sea creature shadow puppet. And you can see I have all my supplies here ready to go. So I'm going to be drawing a squid. It would probably be a good idea to do a sketch first so you know exactly what you are doing. But I am going to be drawing a squid here, and you can see there's like a little top part that I'm adding to the squid. And I know squids have quite a few legs. So here I am just going to symmetrically put the legs on one at a time, one on each side. You are going to be able to choose to draw any sea creature you would like. And at the end, I'm going to show you I've done quite a few sea creatures in preparation for this project. So I'll show you those after I'm done with this squid. So I'm drawing the rest of the legs. And if you make a mistake on your drawing, it's kind of not a big deal because we're going to be cutting this out and no one is even going to be seeing your drawing. So I'm just going to draw my eyes on the inside. You might want to have a few larger shapes on the inside, and I'll show you how the trick to cutting those out. See, I'm going to have two large shapes on the top. And then I think I'm going to add two smaller shapes on the sides. One right here and one right here. You want to make sure your shapes that you put on the inside aren't too complicated because then they'll be too difficult to cut out. So I'm going to put my pencil down and I'm going to grab my scissors. And I am going to start carefully cutting out my squid. And the idea that we've been going through in class is to use the inside of the scissors, open them up as wide as you can to cut out as precisely as you can. So to cut out the inside shapes, I'm just going to give it a gentle fold. And then I can more easily cut out those shapes on the inside. So I'm going to cut this one. The little piece is a little difficult to take off there. And here's number two. Kind of pull that little piece off. So now when I unfold them, you'll see that they're on the inside. And if you can do this a little bit, it'll kind of make a more interesting shadow when you turn this into a shadow puppet. So I am going to cut this eye out. I have folded this little piece. Oops, I have to be very careful that I don't cut those legs off there. You got to make sure you open your scissors up really wide and cut slowly so you do not make a mistake, especially if you like what you have cut. So that's one eye, and I think I'm going to fold my eye the other way. You know, eyes have radial symmetry, so I can kind of fold it anyway and still cut it out. See, I open my scissors up all the way, and voila, my two eyes. I'm going to do the same thing for the smaller shapes. I didn't give up on those. I'm just going to give a little fold. You don't want to fold everything and crush it. Just fold what you need to fold and then kind of straighten it out, flatten it out when you open it up. And I'm going to do the other side. Just give it a little fold. I want to be really careful not to disrupt any of the 8 legs I just so carefully folded. You know what? I'm just going to clean my workspace, keep it nice and organized, and put these scraps in the tabletop trash can. I know you probably all have a tabletop trash can at home. It's a way we manage some messes in the art room. And I'm going to get back to cutting this small little shape. And I'm going to open it up. And you will see that I have my squid shadow puppet all ready to go. So now I need my pencil, and I'm just going to take a piece of tape. I'm using masking tape, but if you don't have masking tape and you have Scotch tape, that will work great, but glue won't really work for this. You really need tape, or if you don't have that, you'll just use your hands in the shadow puppet. So I'm going to tape my pencil on, making sure that my tape doesn't I don't tape over any of the negative spaces that I've cut out. I'm going to tape down my pencil so that I can use my pencil to turn my puppet into a puppet. So if you don't have an index card, I'm just going to show you another example using a piece of thin cardboard. You could see it held yogurts for members of the Evers households, and I'm just going to open it up. Now, if you don't have a piece of cardboard that is perfectly flat, and mine has some holes in it, I think I'm actually going to use these holes and use them as part of my puppet. Let's see if I can kind of create something to take advantage of this piece of cutout cardboard I already have. So I have decided to draw a fish, and I'm going to use those as my fins to kind of get around, and here I am drawing the tail. Like I said in the beginning, if you make a mistake in your drawing, it is not a big deal because you will just correct that with your scissors. I'm going to be ambitious and make an eye, and let's see if we can get a fin right here in the center. What was was our science teachers calling that a dorsal fin? Possibly. And I'm going to add some gills here, to help the fish breathe in the water. And now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to carefully cut it out. If you are using some of those, excuse me, cut out pieces, you want to make sure you go around them and you do some nice careful cutting. Even though I'm doing it so super fast, I'm just like a really fast cutter. Boom, 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 and there we go. Now I'm going to take my tape and take off a little piece. This is a smaller fish, but it actually doesn't matter what size you make your shadow puppet, because when we go into our dark rooms with the flashlights, it won't really matter what size they are because you can make them any size you want. So I'm going to tape down my pencil. This one's a little bit to the side because I didn't want to block the opening of the fin on the bottom, but I'm going to make it work. Tape that down nice and tight. And there we go. Now I can kind of move my fish around. That will be helpful for when you go into your dark room and you do your shadow puppet show. So I'm just going to show you a few of the other shadow puppets I've made. I made a scary underwater monster. Here's another fish. And the one I made in the beginning here is my squid. So if you have some helpers in your family, brothers and sisters or cousins, whomever you're living with, maybe you can make a big shadow puppet show together. And one more option for you, I'm going to take another index card and just draw some seaweed that's all attached. See, I didn't go back down to the bottom of the index card until I was done here. And I'm going to cut this out. And then I'm going to tape it to the bottom of that pencil and see if when I go make a shadow puppet show, I can have my seaweed, my fish, swimming right next to seaweed. See, I'm going to tape this down on the bottom of my pencil, get my masking tape out. This is going to have to be a little bit of a smaller piece. You can do this with Scotch tape too. Put that there, put that on top. Okay, I'm just going to rip my tape in half so it's a little bit thinner and it doesn't show. And let's see. Oop, there we go. My fish is swimming next to some seaweed. I brought my shadow puppets into my bathroom. You can use a bathroom with no windows or a dark closet with no windows, and you can see I have my orange flashlight, and when you go close to the flashlight, your shadow gets bigger, and when you go further away from the flashlight, your shadow gets smaller, but it's more in focus. So once you find a picture of a shadow, an image of a shadow that you like, you're going to need someone else to come in and help you take a picture or a video to post on Seesaw. So you will need an assistant to help you take a picture because you're going to be holding your puppet and a flashlight. I can't wait to see what shadows you create. If you really enjoy this, why don't you try your hand at some hand puppets? I've put a link in the Seesaw activity. and you can try your hand at some of the hand shadow puppets. This is me trying my hand at it. You see my bunny? Thanks for watching.